I referenced before VASPA versus the Prevention of Domestic Violence Act. So in New Jersey, with the enactment of VASPA, it essentially creates two parallel paths for a victim to pursue an order of protection. It just depends upon what the victim's seeking and also the relationship the victim has with the alleged offender. So VASPA, as I said before, only covers acts of sexual violence, stalking, lewdness, and cyber harassment. Now, when the legislature enacted VASPA, that was intentional because the VASPA matters are handled by the family part because of the similarity that the procedures, the hearing, all of the issues that are presented to a court are very similar as to those that are under the PDVA. So the family court, as practitioners know, in the state of New Jersey has been inundated, and that issue has only worsened since the pandemic. So the legislature was concerned about the overflow of cases and the impact it would have on the judiciary. In addition, they purposely did not include harassment under VASPA because they didn't want cases that were what they deemed to be frivolous or not rising to the level of a person needing an order of protection. For example, if one of your neighbors was walking their dog and their dog urinated on your lawn every day and you got annoyed, someone can't file a VASPA because of that. So it's only limited to these specific, what we call predicate acts that you can essentially apply for and hopefully obtain a VASPA. Now, the PDVA, as I just said, is different. It covers all of the following acts of domestic violence: homicide, assault, terroristic threats, lewdness, stalking, robbery, false imprisonment, criminal restraint, criminal trespass, criminal sexual contact, criminal mischief, kidnapping, burglary, contempt, criminal coercion, harassment, sexual assault, and cyber harassment. Now, why is that? Because the PDVA, unlike VASPA, requires a specific relationship between the person who is the purported victim and the person they are alleging is committing one of these acts against them. So it's more limited into who can actually seek a restraining order under the PDVA. So how else would they differ? Who can apply for a TPO under VASPA? As I just said, anybody over the age of 18 who is a victim of criminal sexual contact, sexual penetration, lewdness, stalking, or cyber harassment, or any attempt at such conduct. Now, what's interesting about VASPA versus the PDVA is that the person who, a parent or guardian, can apply for a TPO, for example, if someone's under the age of 18, or for an adult who does not understand what is happening to him or her because of a disability or mental illness. However, the offender has to be over the age of 18 or an emancipated minor. So in other words, if there's two high school kids who are 16 years old respectively, and one's alleging an act that would otherwise qualify under a VASPA, they cannot file a VASPA against the other minor. They would have to pursue remedies through the juvenile courts. So who can apply for a temporary restraining order under the PDVA? Again, this differs from VASPA. VASPA, you don't need the relationship. Under the PDVA, you need the relationship. So it's the current or former spouse, present or former dating relationship, a person with whom they will have a child in common, already have child or children in common, or they presently resided together or previously resided together. So caretakers, roommates, family members. Unlike VASPA, however, the victim must be over the age of 18 in order to file a TRO under the PDVA.
And you'll see that we included the link to the application. It can be found online at the New Jersey Court's website. If you go to the forms section and just type in VASPA kit, it'll pop up. We've also attached a copy in your materials, and that includes some helpful material as to where it can be filed and some of the things that we're going to touch on later in the presentation.